Hello everyone, welcome to the Leveled Up Contractor Show. My name is William Fletcher, and contractors, I'm glad that you're here because today we're talking about how to master cash flow in your business. And guys, you know, if you're a contractor, cash flow is one of the most important things to keep your business operating, to keep things functioning, to keep the lights on, to keep the subcontractors paid, to keep vendors paid. It's a huge deal. And it can be tough, right? Sometimes our jobs take a long time to complete. We could be waiting on material. A lot of different things happen, right? Material is expensive. Paying good workers to do good work is expensive. And having good equipment, good buildings, good employees, all that stuff costs a lot of hard-earned money. So cash flow is absolutely key to running a successful contracting business. It's a high profit, high earning business, but it's also a high expense business. And a lot of contractors get themselves in trouble when it comes to cash flow. So this is something I'm really passionate about and hope that you take very serious in your business. And the scary thing, guys, is a lot of contractors don't focus on it until their bank account hits that red alert number where they're freaking out and they're like, oh my gosh, we got to go collect some money. What the heck is going on? Oh my gosh, we got to make payroll. We got to pay our subcontractors. We got to buy material for all these jobs coming up. Man, and they scramble, right? They're scrambling, they're trying to figure it out, they're going everywhere and they're picking up money, and boom, they get a huge influx of cash, pay the bills, pay the suppliers, everybody's happy, we're all good. They chug along, boom, red alert again, and we're back to square one doing it all again. That's what we don't want to do, right? So let's talk about some things in this video that you can actually do to make cash flow a regular part of your business. And guys, the number one thing that we have found to fix in our business to make this happen is the number one meeting that we have in our business, and it's the cash flow meeting, right? It's not glorified, it's a meeting, right? But at the end of the day, it is the meeting about one of the most important things to keeping our company running and keeping us smooth and not having to worry and scramble about getting money in the door. All right. And in that meeting, guys, it's pretty simple, right? There's a couple things that we bring to the meeting, right? We bring our work in progress report, which is basically everything that is a job that's in our production department's hand, right? That is not finished, that we don't have all the money for, right? We haven't earned all the money for it because we haven't completed this job. Therefore, we can't get paid on it, right? So we bring that report to the meeting, right? We bring our accounts receivable report, which is basically all the jobs that we've completed that have been invoiced that we haven't been paid for yet. Okay? And then the other report that we bring is everything that our production team has completed, right? So these jobs are completed, but they haven't hit our AR report because they haven't been invoiced yet. And this should be a very small number of jobs, but nonetheless, it's something you need to pay attention to because maybe there's a punch out, or maybe there's a sales rep dragging his feet and he hasn't submitted the information to get the job invoiced, right? So therefore, if the job isn't invoiced, customer don't have an invoice, you aren't going to get your money. So that's why it's an important report. Right, and depending on the size of your company, it depends on who's going to be in that meeting, right? In our case, it's me, it's someone from our accounting department, it's the owner of the company, right? It's the production manager, it's the sales manager, and we're diving in, right? So we start things off with, the AR report, right? Okay, here's all the jobs that have been invoiced. Here's the ones that owe us a balance, and we go through them, right? Why have we been paid on this job? Why has this one been sitting here for X amount of days? Or, oh, hey, sales managers come to the meeting with a plan. Hey, we're collecting this one, we're collecting this one this week, this one this week. We can't collect that one yet. Production manager, I need you to get on that. Miss Smith ain't happy with this. Can you make sure that gets fixed this week so we can collect this money? Yada, yada, yada. You go through the report and boom, you're taking action on those items that have been invoiced that you haven't been paid on yet. Now, then we go to the production side, right? You see all your jobs that are in the production pipeline, and your production manager comes to the meeting prepared to say, hey, we're completed this job this week, we're completing this job this week, hoping to complete this one, but maybe off schedule, completing this job, completing this job. Won't have this one done this week, but hoping to get that. And they're laying out a progression, right? You're seeing the jobs that are going to get done. So now your sales manager's like, all right, that job's getting done, that job's getting done, that job's getting done. And now he can start setting up plans to make sure his team is collecting that money, right? So you bring the right people together and you're looking at that. Now, the third bucket that we talked about is, okay, production's done their part. They've completed a job, but it hasn't hit accounting yet. Accounting's like, hey, why can't I invoice this job, right? And you have a group of, let's say 5 to 7 jobs in there, right? And you start going through them, and sales manager looks at that. Well, we can't invoice that one yet. Betty Smith, we can't invoice that one yet because, there's a punch item or something, right? We can't invoice that one yet. Production manager, can you make sure that gets taken care of? Right? Go down to the next one. What's going on with this one? Oh man, I just actually talked to the rep about 2 hours ago. He didn't have all his paperwork together. There was a change order that he's got to get updated. He'll have it updated in the next hour or so we can get that one invoiced. And you go through all those jobs, right? Right, and you go through them, you make sure everything happens, you get the jobs invoiced, and you get your money collected. So you got all the right people in the room. You got your accounting team, you got your production team, you got your sales manager representing the sales team. You bring all those people together so they can work together and build a plan to get the money collected, right? And you're not just letting things happen naturally, right? You're not waiting for a sales rep to just one day wake up and go collect his money. Now, they should be doing that anyway, but we're going to make sure, we're going to have a system, we're going to have checks in place to make sure that we get our money, right? So that's one of the biggest things. You absolutely got to have that in. Now, one of the second things, and this one's super, super simple, but you would be amazed at how many contractors do not do this, and that is requiring their sales reps to get a down payment on a job, right? Sounds silly, sounds simple, but there's a lot of people that don't do it. And here's why it's so important, right? Let's say that your average job size as a company is $10,000. And let's say your material percentage is roughly 25%. So 25% of $10,000 is $2,500. So if you don't collect that down payment, now you have to front $2,500 for the material. You got to pay your subs, and then finally at the end of the day, whenever that job gets completed and an invoice and the customer pays you, you get your money. Now, one job, okay, not a huge deal, right? But now let's say that you did that for 10 jobs. You fronted $2,500 for 10 jobs. That's $25,000 that you have now fronted and you haven't got paid anything on them yet. And then you pay your subs on top of that, so that's an additional cost. Now let me ask you this, would an extra $25,000 in your bank account make a difference for you? Would $25,000 in your bank account today make a difference for you? So that's big. But now think about this. If you're not requiring people to get down payments, that $25,000 that you didn't collect on those 10 jobs that you're doing this week, right? Now let's say that your turnaround time on getting jobs done, invoiced, and collected is 4 to 6 weeks. Do that for 4 to 6 weeks and see what happens. $25,000 at 4 weeks is $100,000. $25,000 at 6 weeks is $150,000. And I wouldn't be too afraid to bet money that $100,000 or $150,000 to most contractors not having in their bank account would make a big deal. So down payments are absolutely important. Don't approve a job for production from your sales team until they have that down payment. And that leads us to the last thing that I want to talk about today, which is controls, right? You got to have controls set up in your business to make sure that you are getting your money collected, that make sure that you as a company are protected. Recently in our coaching program, I did a massive workshop on cash flow, collections, all this stuff, setting up all the systems to make sure you get paid. But one of the biggest things that we focused on was having the right controls in place, having the right contract with the right language to make sure you get paid the money at the end of the job, making sure that your sales reps are collecting down payments, making sure that sales reps aren't getting paid a full commission until they collect all the money, making sure that your subs aren't getting paid for inadequate work or before a job's been walked or approved by your production team. So you got to have different controls in place to make sure that at the end of the day, if you do a good job, you do what you say you're going to do for your customers, that you're going to get paid the money that you earn. So I'll leave you with that one today, guys. Cash flow is a killer for a lot of businesses. Do not let it happen to you by setting these types of things in place.